Peace, appreciation, and love, and value, and knowledge, wisdom. I just want to start by saying, I'm doing this little video right here. Not really a lecture, but just a talk. More of a mini lecture, I would say, because we further discuss the elites of this world. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that in 1 second. Y'all give me 1 minute. Y'all give me 1 minute. The phone went dead. We're gonna put it on the warp speed charger. But first, I want to get into why I want to talk about them. The royal families of the world, especially of our time. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, within this 100 years frame, within the century. The reason why a century would be our time frame because time is not real. Shit. You could have died and came back 3 times within the century. Probably more longer than that. Some people can live to their kids. 4 or 5 and pass. Some people can live their 15 and pass, 20 and pass, 30, 50 and pass. You know what I'm saying? Came back and you know what I'm saying? So, we know time is not real. That's what we're gonna get an understanding of first. Time is not real. Now, in this time frame, it's been some top elites, you know, that's been running the show. You know, taking control of the astro bodies closer, like the moon and any else astro body they can get their hands on. They took control of the Earth. Best believe they took control of other planets and astro bodies, and suns and moons and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be mindful of that for number one when we on this spiritual journey talking about the cosmos. You know what I'm saying? And I always like to say, I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in a true goddess, a true creator who created all of us, even Lucifer. And talking about the royal families and the powers that be is give you a little insight on who controls what, who runs the show, who's the puppet master, and who's the puppets. So, breaking it down. You know, we gotta pull up Google. Cause they gonna let you know the powers that be. Mm-hmm. We all know overseas that's where it started from. The British, you know, the people in England, Germany, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, if you're talking the tip of Africa, Abu Dhabi, Israel. Some of Israel's political leaders are connected to these wealthy families, all in the bloodline. The Rothschilds' net worth. So you can get a kind of idea, get a bracket, you know, a bracket number what these motherfuckers have been pulling in for centuries. Okay, hold on, bear with me, y'all. I'm talking about Bilderberg. I'm talking about a lot of royal families. And it's the reason why they got that power and their wealth like that. That shit was damn near handed down to them. As of 2021, Rothschild's net worth is over 450 billion. And you know if they just telling you some shit like that, that's just a piece of their wealth. That's just probably what they may brung in this year, just bullshit when they did their taxes. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not the whole family. That's probably bits and pieces. This person, a uncle, a nephew, a granddad, a father, a wife. You know, probably 5 or 10 people brought me in that much together on their taxes. I mean, we know how to read between the lines, don't we, guys? We do. We know how. They're not gonna be able to fool us with that. No. So 450 billion. Let's say that's what they brung in this year. That's their net worth for 2021. So yeah, that's what they brung in this year after they did their taxes and everything. Which we know they brung in more. You know what I'm saying? But shit, they did their taxes. That's what they brought in. Still, that's more than what any person like, you know, ordinary person is gonna make in a lifetime. It probably took them a couple lifetimes to make that, you know. And these hardworking corporate people that's entering, you know, corporate business, $30-$40 an hour, 50, 60 to 100,000 a year. They still ain't clearing no $450 billion. That shit would damn near take 50, 60 years, maybe 100 years going on the path they going on, unless they step their game up and invest and then, you know what I'm saying, invest and flip and flip. But still, I don't see no 450 billion in no year. Unless you're a royal family. It's gonna be real. Unless you're part of the royal family. Bilderbergs. dropping gems. I'm dropping free game. Go do y'all research on this shit, man. And a lot of your politicians are tied into the royal family. That's why they get to get the positions they get. A little girl did a research project. When I found a video, we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna let that be a lecture about the presidents. I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what to expect in the video. But I want to say 1 or 2 presidents, all of them some kin, the ones we had so far. Probably 3 with the one we just had before Biden, Trump. I don't think Trump was probably. He might. We're gonna have to. That's why I say I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a lecture on this. Do a lecture on the presidents and their descendants, and them being tied to royal families overseas in England. Even Obama. We're gonna talk a little bit more about him in the video than anybody else, because a lot of people don't know that he's tied into the royal families because he's from Hawaii, or they say he's from Hawaii. His lineage did not start in Hawaii. It might got watered down a little bit, but just because who he come from, he's still gonna get, the royal treatment. He ain't got the one from that. And they might tell you some bullshit story about they had to struggle, whatever. And if that's probably the case, and he probably didn't know what was waiting on him until he got into politics, until he made it through a certain level. And they revealed to him that he's part of the royal family. Same for any president. JFK was one of the ones that wasn't a part of that shit. And even if his lineage dates back to that, he wasn't with that bullshit. I'm just letting you know. He wasn't with that bullshit. We're going to do a lecture on all that shit, on the lecture about the presidents. Bilderberg meeting in an annual conference established in 1954 to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. The group's agenda, originally to prevent another world war, is now defined as blustering, a consensus around free market Western capitalism and its interests around the globe. So we know what capitalism is. This is what the Bilderbergs' focus was. So that all might seem fine and dandy, something to be happy about, but all in all, these folks are colonists, colonial background, conquistador background. They were conquerors. As you know, they're from the lineage of the people who was with the Pleiadians and with the draconic reptilians and Satan, the human beings who led the fleet with Christopher Columbus and taking over our planet. This is their lineage. These motherfuckers get the whole meetings about world decisions, about the economy, their capitalism. Definition of capitalism.
Here's the definition of capitalism. An economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit, rather than by the state.
I don't know if y'all just heard what Google just said. Capitalism, an economic political system in which a country's trade and industry, how they making their money, they trades, they imports, exports, all that is part of the industry, are controlled by private owners for a profit rather than by the state. Private owners. Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, motherfuckers who own Walmart, own these top corporations. You feeling me? You following? We talking about the lineage. We talking about the future. We talking about how you can identify the elites today. And you know these motherfuckers work off capitalism. What does capitalism mean in simple terms? An economic system characterized by private or corporate ownership of capital goods, by investments that are defined by private decisions, and by prices, production, and the distribution of goods that are determined mainly by competition in a free market. So they basically telling you that they getting their money legit. You can get it too, but they're dominating this. But it is a free market. But they're dominating because they are major tycoons: Amazon, Walmart, Volkswagen, Audi, Roper, and they all under one umbrella, the IRS. Because they got to pay the IRS. In return, the IRS pays our taxes back, but in little bitty pieces. At the end of the year, when these motherfuckers clock billions and we get peanuts, when the fuck you think 20, 30 hours? Yeah, it's good when you ain't got it. They clear 100,000, 200, 300,000 a year, maybe $1 million or $2 million if you lucky. One of the smart ones that study that shit, and you start to make $1 million or $2 million a year, make sure you pay your taxes because they're gonna be on your ass. But they gonna keep you right there. You're not gonna clock no billions unless you sell out. And they they control everything. They capitalize off everything. Capitalism. Come on now, it's in the economy. All these motherfuckers. Go do your research. Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, and the main two people you need to be concerned about. And then you look at all the little umbrella corporations. I like to call them the motherfuckers that's under them. Your Walmart's, Amazon, your motherfucking Ropers, your anything that's tycoon and status that they clocking millions. You understand? Those are your elites. Them the ones that we're gonna pick the motherfucking situation with, because why are the low poor class we getting peanuts when we have the same skills, if not better? So peace, appreciation, and value. I love y'all.